Today we're going to talk about texting, the whole wild word of texting. That thing that we have, in our hands, our phone, and the communication that's something that should be fluid and fun, and often is just driving us crazy because there's either no communication or it's not coming in the way we want it to come. So we are going to talk about this. Before I start, we have a free course. All the info is in the box below. It's on how to manifest things very fast after you identify your block. And I said it the other way around. It's how to identify your blocks and manifest anything fast. Anyways, so you can get it, it's free, and the info is in the box below. So I am going to read a comment from a subscriber, and it was up on the screen. Here we go. So the subscriber says, he only texts me when he feels like it. Very frustrating. He treats me like an ordinary person. I get triggered, and sometimes I get very angry. I am thinking of not replying when he texts me. Am I doing anything wrong? First, I don't like when people ask if they're doing anything wrong because it puts a heavy blame on yourself. It puts like an unnecessary pressure. So we are not going to say we're doing things wrong, but we are doing things a certain way and the outcome is not satisfying. So now we are going to change it and just, have a different approach. So not wrong, we're just going to do it differently. All right. So what's very important here. So the scenario is very simple. You're not happy because your specific person is not texting you the way you want the communication to go. You want it to be fluid. You want it to be something normal. Actually, you just want it to be normal. Like I text you, you answer, you text me, I answer, whatever, right? So you don't always want to be the one who initiates. You want the other person to be that interested in you that they initiate as well. And you want it to be normal in a sense that once you get a text or they get a text, there's an answer and there's a conversation and it's back and forth. And then often we want more. We want it to be flirty. We want it to be exciting. So if that is not the case, you're frustrated. You can be sad. You can feel rejected. In her case, she says she's very angry. We have to pay attention at our feelings because at the end of the day, remember, nobody is doing anything to us. Your specific person is not doing that to you. You are creating the situation because everything is a reflection from your consciousness. So it's in your consciousness, it's you, it's within you, and it's reflecting in your 3D. So instead of getting mad at your specific person, you just have to get your power back thinking, well, I don't know why I created that, and now I'm going to create differently. So getting angry is reacting to your 3D reality. Seems like a normal process, right? Something is happening out there, we react. However, you don't want to do that. That's what you're going to do differently, because when you react, what you're saying is that, oh, I agree with what's happening in the 3D. So I agree with the fact that my specific person is not texting me. I accept this truth as truth. That's the way it is. Not understanding that it's just a projection from what you've been thinking in the past, consciously or unconsciously, because of course you're going to say, well, no, I want my specific person to answer. But do you really? Yes, you want it. But how do you feel inside? Well, sometimes we don't know how we truly feel, but maybe deep down we have this assumption that there is a rejection, that the person is not that into us, that maybe they have a better option. We might fear it. And the fear is stronger in terms of vibrations within you than the belief that your specific person wants you and only you, and you're the one, and that therefore, of course, they always want to talk to you. So you really, in this case, not thinking as yourself, as the person that your specific person is crazy about and will always put as a priority. You know, you have to think, when you put another person as, you know, as a priority, you prioritize that person. Therefore, when you get a message from that person, you immediately respond, or you respond as soon as you can, and you're happy and you're excited to respond. Now, use those feelings to create in your imagination that your specific person feels that way about you. And you will probably realize that deep down you're rejecting that story because that's not within you. So you're assuming the opposite. Of course you're assuming the opposite. How can I tell? Well, I just have to look at your 3D, right? In that case, it's this lack of communication through text. So that indicates what is your dominant belief. What is your dominant belief within you? And this is what we want to change. So we are going to spend time dwelling on how it's like to have in your imagination your specific person prioritizing you because they love you, they're madly in love with you, they chose you, they want to be with you, and they're excited to communicate with you. They want to communicate with you, and they do. Dwell on that. Dwell on that story and see how it feels like. You're going to repeat that in your mind until it feels more normal, better, when you feel that you're starting to accept this within you in terms of vibration. And the way you do it is, I just described how you do it, but you can also back it up with affirmations when you really put yourself in that scenario over and over. I have an affirmation track that's specifically about texting that you can check on the website. And I also have a hypnosis that's pre-recorded, and it's called Receive an Avalanche of Text from Your Specific Person. So what happens in that, with the hypnosis, you know, you go in a very safe and comfortable place where you're not going to be disturbed, and you lay down on your bed, on the couch, never when you drive, never when you're in a bathtub, and you are induced with the recording to relax, and you're in such a state of relaxation that now you are receiving the affirmations that I'm talking about texting, and they get imprinted in your subconscious mind. You are rewiring your brain. And with that, now the repetition will create a new belief that you within accept. And it can be done. It's not like you're going to say, oh, well, you know, purposely, how am I going to accept this if I see something different in the 3D? Well, the 3D, you just have to remember, that's the end result from yesterday's thinking. But now, with the rewiring of your brain and the repetition of the affirmations through hypnosis, through scripting, through repeating, like you would maybe with one of my affirmation tracks, now this becomes you. And the more you repeat, the more you vibrate it, the more you feel it within, it will become the dominant belief. And the dominant belief always gets pushed out. So when you say, here, you say, and I'll put it back up, I'm thinking of not replying when you text me. Fine. But let's look at the reason why you don't want to reply. You don't want to reply because you're angry. You don't want to reply because you're angry. Why are you angry? You're angry because of his behavior. So now we still have the story of him not showing up the way you want him to show up. So that action reinforces a belief that you don't want in your 3D reality. So if you choose not to text, you have to understand the reason behind it. So I'm thinking of not replying when he texts me. So let's say you don't want to reply to him when he texts you because you want him to really pursue you and go, like move mountains for you, which, by the way, I do have also an affirmation track that's called Move Mountain, which is a very popular one. People love it. That really puts you in the mindset of looking and accepting and assuming that your specific person is the best version of themselves towards you, and they will do anything for you because they love you so much, because they claim you, because you are their priority, right? So by doing so, and by thinking so, assuming that this is how your specific person is, then, it would be okay not to text back, because you want him or her, you want a specific person to show some more pursuing, which is exciting, which is good. So that is then a different reason why you would not text back. But if you don't text back because you're angry, now the story that you're keeping alive is the story that, well, I'm angry because he's not showing up the way I want to show up, and he doesn't treat me the way I want him to treat me. So therefore, you are continuing to create this version of him that you don't want. So, take your power back, take a deep breath, and go back to understanding that you are the creator, and now you are going to create a better version of him, the version of him who wants you and only you, who is moving mountains for you, who thinks that you are the catch. He only has eyes for you. Once you dwell on that, vibrate that, those concepts of him, and assume that's who he is, then he will start showing up that way, and you are going to be more satisfied. You are going to feel good. So your feelings will be your indication. When you're angry because you're not getting what you want. Therefore, it's on you to change the story. I intend that made sense. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I intend you have an amazing, amazing week. And until next time, bye-bye.